Good morning. I am so ready to get into some proper rock and roll archaeology today.
There's a fascinating story about John Lennon and the portrait of him that was locked away for 50 years before being rediscovered.
Yes, quite a story. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so to really get this, you have to sort of transport yourself, forget today, and just drop right into the middle of John Lennon's life in 1968.
And we're not talking about the fun, cheeky mop-top John. This is Kenwood, his home in Surrey.
Right, and if you're picturing, a cozy little English home.
Oh, wipe that from your mind. By 68, Kenwood wasn't a home. It was a demolition site.
His marriage to Cynthia was just collapsing in real time.
And Yoko Ono had arrived. The whole atmosphere was volatile. He was psychologically burning his old life to the ground to start
Or
over.
a total purging. And it wasn't just emotional, it was physical. He was literally tearing things apart.
Which brings us to a painting on the wall of his sunroom. And you have to understand, the sunroom was his spot, his sanctuary.
And on the wall is this portrait of himself, a relic in his mind of the Cynthia years.
And he just can't look at it anymore, so he pulls it off the wall and rips it up.
And that should be the end of it, right? Straight into the bin. But that's when this other person walks into the story.
Bernhard.
Such a key figure. And he's not part of the inner circle at all. He runs a local photo studio.
He was just there delivering some camera gear, so the band wouldn't get mobbed going into town. A practical favor.
So he walks into this tense, chaotic scene, and he sees John Lennon holding the torn pieces of this portrait.
Most people would just drop the box and run,
But Bernard just asks him this simple question. Can I have it?
just like that.
And John, in this fit of rage, just hands it over. Like it's nothing. Garbage.
And Bernard Clark walks out the door, having unknowingly saved this incredible piece of history.
But to understand why it's so important, why this torn painting matters, we have to rewind.
Way back, before the fame, before Kenwood, we have to go to Liverpool, 1957.
The Liverpool College of Art. This is the origin story. It's where John Lennon meets Stuart Sutcliffe.
The fifth Beatle. And I know that term gets thrown around a lot, but for Stuart, aesthetically, spiritually, it fits.
Absolutely. Historians like Mark Lewison have really hammered this point home. They weren't just friends.
No, they were intellectual soulmates. They read together, they painted together, they argued about philosophy, they inspired each other.
And here's the thing that people forget. In that relationship, Stuart was the star. He was the better artist.
Oh, by far. He was the one with the real raw talent for painting. John was creative, but Stuart had the vision.
But John was putting a band together. And he wanted his best friend up on stage with him.
Even if his best friend couldn't really play.
A minor detail.
A very minor detail. But it just shows you. The famous story is that Stuart sold one of his paintings.
A serious piece of art for a good amount of money.
And John's advice was simple.
Buy a bass.
Exactly. A bass guitar. He wanted Stuart's look. That James Dean-esque cool, standing there holding the bass. The playing would come later. Or not.
And that energy took them to Hamburg. And Hamburg changed everything.
It's where Stuart meets the photographer Astrid Kircher.
And they just fall completely in love. Instantly.
It was this massive, life-altering romance, and it forced Stuart into a choice. The band or art and love.
He chose art. He decided to leave the Beatles.
And you'd think John, who could be so possessive, would be furious. See it as a betrayal.
But he didn't. He accepted it. Stuart enrolled in the Hamburg College of Art to study with this amazing pop artist, Edoardo Palladio.
And John was proud of him. The friendship didn't fade. It deepened. He knew Stuart was on his own path.
And it's during this time, around 1961-62 in Hamburg, that Stuart creates the portrait of John.
Let's just, paint a picture of it for you listening. It was likely done in the attic of Astrid's family home.
That attic was like a safe house for the band. Her mom would make them English breakfasts.
The painting itself is a head study. But it's not realistic. It's moody, abstract.
Very dark tones. It's mixed media pen, ink, watercolor. It feels heavy,
It does. It's stylized, but it's unmistakably John. You see the intensity that Stuart saw in him.
And my favorite detail on the left of the neck is the signature.
It's not even a signature. It's just
the letter J.
That's all it needed. That says everything about their friendship.
But then the story takes its tragic turn. April 10th, 1962.
Stuart dies of a brain hemorrhage. He was just 21 years old.
It's impossible to overstate this. The Beatles are on the verge of becoming the biggest thing in the world.
And John loses his artistic conscience. The person who knew him before all of it.
He was devastated. But he buried it. He didn't cry. He just kept the painting.
He brought it back with him, and it wasn't hidden away. Fast forward to Kenwood, the mid-60s. That painting was on display.
And we know this for a fact. There's photographic proof.
A photo from 1967, The Summer of Love.
John is lying on the couch in that sunroom, looking very...
1967. Full Sgt. Pepper look. And right there, on the wall behind him, is the portrait.
Think about that. While he's creating Magical Mystery Tour, while they're recording Sgt. Pepper, Stuart's painting is watching over him.
It's like Stuart was still there. A silent witness to this creative explosion. It's a bit haunting, isn't it?
So it survives Stuart's death, it survives Beatlemania, it witnesses Sgt. Pepper, but it doesn't survive in 1968.
Right. Back to the tearing, the rage. Bernard Clark saves it, tapes it back together, but then it vanishes again.
This is what you call its Dorian Gray phase.
Exactly. Because the reason it was hidden away is just so human.
Okay, what happened?
Bernard Clark's wife, she was very close friends with Cynthia Lennon.
Oh.
And she was furious at John for how the marriage ended.
Right.
The affair, Yoko moving in, she was 100% Team Cynthia.
So she didn't want John Lennon's face staring down at her from her living room wall.
Precisely. She banished him to the attic. The painting was hidden out of loyalty to his ex-wife.
That's incredible. So it was saved from destruction, only to be locked away because of a friendship.
And there it sat. For 50 years. It outlived John. It outlived Bernard and his wife.
Until 2024.
Bernard's son, Stephen, is clearing out his parents' estate, going through old boxes.
And he finds it. A torn, taped-up original Stuart Sutcliffe.
But how do you prove it's the one? Not a copy, not a print, but the actual one from Kenwood. This is where the nerdy art forensics come in.
My favorite part.
The auctioneer, John Silk from Eubanks, he needed proof. So he took that 1967 sunroom photo.
But the painting is in the background. It's at an angle. The perspective is all wrong.
So what he did was he parallelogrammatized it.
Parallelogram-protized. I love that word.
It's great, isn't it? He used software to digitally skew and stretch the image of the found painting.
To perfectly match the distorted angle in the old photograph.
And then he overlaid the two images.
Wow.
A perfect match. Every single line, every ink splatter. It was mathematical proof.
Goosebumps. That is the chain of custody, proven with pixels.
So it goes to auction. And you'd think Lennon owned Sutcliffe original millions. But the estimate was pretty conservative.
Around 3,000 to 5,000 pounds, I think.
Yeah, which feels low. But I think they were worried about the condition. It's literally torn in half.
But in memorabilia, sometimes the damage is the story.
The bidders clearly thought so. It didn't sell for $5,000. It went for 19,500 pounds.
About 27,000 US dollars.
And honestly, I think that was a bargain. Because you're not just buying a piece of paper.
No, you're buying all the layers of the story.
Exactly. Layer 1, it's by Stuart Sutcliffe, The Lost Beatle. Incredibly rare.
Layer 2, the subject, John Lennon, painted by his best friend who kept it after he died.
Layer 3, the witness was in the room for Sgt. Pepper.
Layer 4, the destruction, or physical evidence of John's 1968 breakdown.
And Layer 5, the rescue and the hiding. The story of Bernard's boldness and his wife's loyalty to Cynthia. It touches on everything.
Art, music, love, death, friendship, breakups. It's all there.
It is. The scars on that painting tell the story of John's life. If it were pristine, it would be less interesting. The damage makes it real.
It's poetic, really. Stuart's art survived everything, the grief, the rage, the attic.
And now it's back out in the world, which feels like the right end to the story. It puts them back together again.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. It's the Beatles, all day, every day, 8 days a week. Yeah, Cass, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely. See you then.
Until next time, when you listen.
Your mind conducts its own symphony.